Happy Monday.
Happy Monday.
Happy Monday, Beans. It's another week. Let's start it off right with another episode of Spoil the Beans. How else would you start your week off? You know?
I don't know. How would you?
I don't know. And I'm glad that this is how they... What a way to start your Monday. With a random fucking movie that you have no say. You know what I mean?
Just, whatever we give you.
It's whatever I give you. You don't have any say either.
That's true.
It's whatever I decide. And that's how your week has to start. So if I decide to start your week with Joanna Man, like that's how you're starting your week. Mm-hmm. That's how you're starting your work week.
That's probably good for them. Like it's a lesson in like accepting what comes to you. Sometimes we're late and you guys have to accept that.
That's true.
Sometimes we're early and you're like, why would you post this before I'm about to go to bed?
Time,
yeah.
Good point.
And I'm sorry.
You know what it is? Because I always try to drop on the same day, but that's for the true OGs. But the time changing, it has to do with our schedule because sometimes we're busier than not. Sometimes
we're in a different time zone.
Yeah, sometimes we're literally in a different time zone and like on a plane. Like it's just a lot going on in our lives. So sometimes that's why instead of dropping at midnight, it'll drop like the next morning at 8 or in the afternoon. Like last night, the video dropped at 9, but the podcast dropped on Spotify at like 9 in the morning. Mm-hmm. So it's 9 in the morning and then 9 at night for the video. But I always try to give it to you on the same day. But the time changes just because,
we're busy people.
Oh, or that. Yeah, that one. That one's nicer.
Or you could eat a dick.
Well, I like to think of the biggest podcast of them all, the granddaddy, Rogan. There's no set time.
Yeah, Jerry just drops when he drops.
Now, the reason we don't complain is because he's giving you 3 episodes, sometimes 4 episodes, like a week.
And they're normally like 3-hour episodes.
So I'm sure he's like literally eat a dick if you have anything to say about this. But I like that there is no drop time and no drop day. Rogan just drops.
Also, the nature of JRE is that it's an interview podcast. So he has all sorts of different interesting guests. And a lot of them depend on the time of the guest. Like, when is the guest coming? Yeah,
you're right. Because during Corona time, it's still going, but in the heat of it, really last year, he had all those scientists on just for that specific reason. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Or politicians during fucking running shit. Politic time.
Yeah, politic time. During politic time.
You know what politic times is? November. It's November every 4 years.
Oh, there's also every 2 years.
I guess every year.
Actually, there's a politic time coming up now. I keep getting notifications about it. How I need to register.
Register to vote for your local representative.
I mean, that's the real change. Midterms or something.
No, it can't be midterms. Midterms is every 2.
Okay.
He just got elected as president.
For something else. It's politic times. It's always politic times.
And I didn't graduate from college, but I still think I remember midterms means the middle.
That would make sense. I'm going to guess yes.
And that's just me. That's an uneducated man talking to an educated woman.
Oh, thank you.
Did you guys know Sam is an educated woman?
Thanks.
She's not just your regular woman.
I have a college degree.
She has a college degree with her breasts.
I do.
It's very impressive.
It's impressive.
What's it in?
Why would you ask me that right now in front of everyone?
What does it mean? Oh, they don't know the other stuff about you? All the other things I've said on other podcasts that are bigger than this?
It's in English literature.
That's what you have your majors in?
You didn't know that?
I forget. And in my head, I don't know why I thought you were going to say something else.
I thought you were making fun of me.
No, I thought you were honestly.
You were like, and it's in a useless subject.
I think we all know. No matter what you were going to say, you weren't going to say dentistry.
No, it's true. I'm a veterinarian.
Yeah, where it's like, oh, damn. That's a real sacrifice you made to do stand-up. You gave up this other actual career.
Well, English literature really lends itself to stand-up.
It does, but I'm not saying. But people with the English literature degree aren't. You don't assume that they're going to have a career immediately unless they go into teaching.
Yeah, or editing.
No, not even editing. Why would it be editing?
People have careers in editing.
No, I know people have careers in editing, but what does that have to do with English literature?
It has everything to do with English literature.
How? Where are you getting this from?
If you're an editor for a paper, you go a lot of people.
Editor for my bad.
Yeah.
I'm thinking computers. Editing, I'm thinking of video
And this is
editing.
why I went to college.
Okay.
I'm like, how can you say people don't have careers in editing? Half of the people I graduated with are editors now.
I'm so
actually 25%.
But I'm so out of the newspaper magazine work. We're so out of that. When I thought editor, my brain literally went. And this is what we do for a living. So my brain, of course, jumped to why that?
But also,
how would you video edit?
It's the same thing with all web editing. Like if you go on and you need someone to edit all your blog posts, if you have any kind of website, any kind of print, you have to have an editor.
My bad. I literally was thinking edit editing, like what Rick Glassman does on Take Your Shoes Off, and it's like, what does that have to do with an English literature degree?
Actually, he has someone else do that. It's
But
it's
you know what
Tommy
I mean?
Wakefield.
Whoever's doing it, how nice
Yeah.
that requires actually sitting behind a camera and like it requires just as much, if not more, work than the actual podcast, which is crazy.
It's a lot of work to edit a podcast.
Yes.
I mean, it takes me a while just to put the sound attached to the video.
Because we don't even. There's no jump cuts. We're not doing any like how we used to have, where we would jump. We don't have multiple cameras anymore, but we used to have multiple cameras, so that's why we were able to do the jump cuts. Cameras are expensive. This is a very expensive thing to do, guys. Podcasting.
But you guys help us out, and we appreciate that.
God, you guys help us out. But I hope you're enjoying your Monday. I hope this starts your work week off right, and on a good positive note. Hope you're just having you had a good weekend, man, and I love you. I actually love you.
That's nice.
One of you I do not love. So whoever that is,
who you are.
Take it how you want to. But everyone else, I love all of you. It's a Friday here in our world in Wayne, Maine, and Samantha's brother is bringing over a girl.
I'm so excited.
For a first date with the family, kind of first date. Not a first date, but a first date where like...
They went on their first date last week.
No, I mean,
this is kind of early.
The family first, where you meet the family. That's the first one. Of that kind of level jump. It's a level jump.
Yeah, and it's only a portion of the family.
But it's still a level jump. You are now crossing into the level of like, all right, you're going to meet people that I care about.
Yeah, I'm kind of shocked, honestly.
Yeah?
That he would... Not that... Because I've never met her. I don't know anything about her. But it seems a little forward to invite someone over to meet your family this early on. Don't you think?
I'm trying to think if I've ever done that early into dating.
Everyone I've dated, it took them like 6 months to meet my family.
I don't think 6 months, but it definitely took a month or like a couple months. Like you weren't just meeting my family.
Yeah.
It took a couple months. Though I have had girls, like I'll never forget this one time this girl came over. This was right before I went to college the second time. When I went to Mississippi College, like in that summer. And there was a girl that came over. And like I had also just met her. Like I met her at a club and got her number. And then we've been just texting, like slight, you know what I mean? Not even though serious texting, just slight texting. And then she came over the house and my mom came home. So she got to meet my mom.
So what was she coming over the house for in the first place?
Oh, for some butt. But she, you know what's funny? So she let me eat her out for a while.
What?
Like a long time from the back. It was pretty cool. From the back.
And then she met your mom?
Yo.
This is not a classy chick.
I'm eating it out from the back. And then we start doing the no pants dance, but I didn't have a condom. Literally like the scene from Higher Learning, except I didn't rape her.
Oh,
except when
thank
she
God.
said I didn't have a condom, I was like, damn, come on. Of course I was like, oh, come on, you don't want to. And she's like, look, I can't if you don't have a condom. And I was like, fuck. And so that was it. So I, instead of raping her like that one, like Billy did.
You introduced her to your mom.
I just introduced her to my mom. I was just like, you know what? What's the second best thing after raping somebody?
It's also a very intimate thing to do. Is
raping someone?
Well, both of those things. Introduce her to your mom and then rape them.
Pretty personal.
Both are very personal actions. We talk about rape a lot on here.
Well, it comes up.
It's got to stop happening, and that's the real problem.
That's the real point of Spoil the Beans. Stop raping. Bean Mafia.
We know a lot of you are men, and it's your duty to stop.
Because the majority of our listeners are men. I'd say we're a solid 75-25. 75% men, 25% female. But I do appreciate in the 75% men, 50% of those men wife watch with the man. Does that make sense?
That makes me happy.
So I like that. But then there's like a 25% group who are literally like, hey, I watch and my boyfriend or husband doesn't, or I'm single. You know what I mean? Like I'm a beaner. And I appreciate those women. But this is mainly for the rapist men who, statistically, there's a couple of you, because we have a lot of listeners.
If there's any women out there raping,
then you should definitely stop.
I was going to say more power to you. I feel like we need more women in that field. No? Okay, you know I take it back.
Yeah, I agree. Because it's like, Deric, what is real change?
That is real change. That's real equality.
That's real equality. If women started raping as much as men and school shooting as much as men, it'd be a better world. So really, it's our fault, women, that we haven't stepped up our game. Yeah. Is it 2020 or not, ladies?
Is it 2020 or not? Let's get out there. Let's get busy.
Yeah, get out of the kitchen and get into the basement.
Get out of the kitchen and get into his butt.
Oh, that's a good one. Get out of his kitchen and get into his butt. Do, 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 do. Ba, 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 bow, bam. But I go down on this girl. We don't get to have sex. I go downstairs, and oh my God, I'll never forget my sweet mother. I go, all right, I go, hey mom, I got to take this girl home. And mom's like, okay. And then I'm walking by, and she goes, all right, well, I love you, honey. And she goes in to like kiss me on the cheek and just go.
Oh, because you smell bad?
I smell like I just been eating vagina.
Gross.
For 15 to 20 minutes.
Deric, ew.
I'll never forget my mom's face. I was like, boy, like that. I'm just like, why would you let? And it's like, I didn't know you were about to do that.
She's your mother. Of course she's going to kiss you. She hasn't seen you all day.
She hadn't seen me all day, but man, I'll never get the embarrassment because the girl saw that too. The girl just shook my mom's hand. And so she had to watch my mom go like, oh, bitch, your pussy stink. You know what I mean? She had to, with her face. She didn't say that. But my mother's face said that.
Her face says a lot. Her face says more than words could ever say.
Bro, I'll never forget that. Golly.
She's got the same. He gets his facial expressions from his mom.
I do. Man, that girl was embarrassed. We never hooked up after that either.
Well, yeah. I never want to see you again because I know what your mom thinks of me already.
Thinks of my true self.
Also, she never met this girl before, so in her mind, she's like, she just comes to my house
to get her,
takes off her clothes with my son, my sweet baby boy,
sweet Deric,
who would never do this on his own.
That is true. I think she did say that. I think she did say that to the girl. You know, if you weren't here, he probably wouldn't have did this.
No, she was like, he would just rub one out like normal.
Yeah, and then I don't have to smell his hands. I'm like Samantha. But yeah, I mean, I'll never forget that that was a horrible experience of someone meeting my parents. Have you ever had it go wrong? Where a guy met the family and it didn't go great?
No.
No?
No, because I never brought anyone home until they'd been around for a while, so they just had to accept it.
What's your worst first date?
My worst first date. That's a good question. I've never had a really bad first date. The one time I went out on a Tinder date with a guy, and he was
That's first date.
Yeah, he was doing well. We never went out again, so
That's
it was the only date. He was doing his master's in something like history, something also not that, something
that's not going to be hard
useful.
To get a career with. Yeah,
exactly. And I was asking him about it, and I was like, "Oh, so like, what's your thesis on, or like, what is your like focus, or this, that, and the other?" And he was telling me, and then he's like, "Well," and this was like 5 years after I'd graduated college, and he's like,
so
"What
did
you?"
Old.
Yeah, I'm like 20. I know this isn't 5 years because I met you when I was 26.
Yeah.
I'm like 25, so this is like 3 years after.
In New Zealand.
No, in Australia. And he's like, "Well, what did you study when you were in college?" And I told him English literature. And he's like, "Well, what was your culminating project?" And like, this is my undergrad project, but I told him. And then he made me defend my thesis. Like, he kept questioning my thesis. I'm like, I don't really remember my research. That was from 3 years ago, but yeah. And then he's like, "Yeah, but if you think this, then certainly you must consider this," and da 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 da. And I was like, I hate this guy. And my thesis was on gender writing, because I had done it on memoir, people who do memoir versus biography, and how biography tends to be more masculine and memoir is more feminine. Mm-hmm. And then he went on like, he didn't like that because it was like gender related. And he
had to tell you how you were.
He had to tell me how I was a woman. Yeah, he's like, "But don't forget, you're a woman.
You're a woman, so you should think this way.
Yeah,
not this way you're saying." That's fair. I kind of like this guy.
Hated this guy. Also, he looked like Pierce Brosnan.
How old was this dude? He seems like a professor.
He was like 28, maybe.
Okay, well,
he was a little older than me.
I mean, but not like 45 is what I was thinking. To do that on a first date, because that whole time, if I'm you, I'd have been sitting there like, man. I mean, I guess, but wouldn't you rather talk about like Ferris Bueller's Day Off, or like,
right?
Sports, fucking, you like The Office, anything else? It was
a long date because even though it was sucking, I was hungry and we had met for for drinks, and I guess he thought it was going well, so he invited me to go out and get food with his friends afterwards. And I was like, okay, because, I've never had Korean barbecue before.
Was it good?
It was so good, and his friends were so cool. And I was like, God, if only he was cool, I would date this guy.
Did you want to talk to any of his friends?
Yeah, I would have become friends with any one of his friends after that.
Talk to any of his
friends. Like it was like one of those friend groups where like people are kind of paired up already. Like it's a lot of couples.
Yeah.
Yeah, there wasn't anyone like I was interested in. But I would have been friends with all of them.
Dang. That's a pretty bad first date. That's a bad first date because he's the annoyingness of like who wants to debate on the first date, bro? We don't debate until after the third date.
I don't know.
Is when debating starts.
Why do you want to debate whether memoir writing is more feminine than biography writing? What does that matter to any man?
What does it matter?
To anyone who's not even read a memoir. Like, why would you give a shit?
I 100% agree. But I'm stuck on because that's even deeper. I'm stuck on the idea of being on a date and getting into not a difference of opinion. That's one thing. If he was like, oh wow, I kind of think this, and then you move on.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh, we difference of opinion. Let's move on. Let's not ruin the first date. That's what I'm stuck on. Is the idea of like, well, this stupid bitch has to know what a biography is and what a memoir is, because I can't go on the rest of this date. Like because this is I'm confused at. He's like, all right, I'm gonna tell her and explain it to her, and then we can go on having a good time. Does that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just don't understand the wanting confrontation on the first date. Like in my head, you beat women.
He totally could have beat women. He looked like he was kind of a little man. And when I say little man, I mean he's probably like 5'10". Like
I'm 5'10".
Yeah, but you're a big, broad shoulder man.
Wait, skinny guy, little guy?
He was a skinny little guy. He looked like Pierce Brosnan. I can't stress that enough.
Pierce is hot.
I'm not attracted to Pierce Brosnan.
But
he's my least favorite 007.
How many 007s do you know? Sean Connery.
I've never watched any of them, but
you got Sean,
I know what they look like.
You got Timothy Dalton. You got T-Dalt. You got Pierce. You got the homeboy now.
I like the homeboy now.
Daniel. I like Daniel. He's hot.
I think he's definitely the most attractive. Sean Connery's also hot too because of his voice.
I never found Sean Connery attractive.
Not even the voice?
Nope. And I'm gay. And I've never once looked at him and thought he was a good-looking man.
He's got like the professor kind of vibes.
He does. But you know who else I don't think is hot? Harrison Ford.
Well, that's just messed up.
They're the same guy to me. I don't like that kind of guy.
Harrison Ford is nothing like Sean Connery, and Harrison Ford is really good looking. Harrison Ford falls into the like Kurt Russell kind of genre of dude.
I don't think Kurt Russell's good looking.
You don't think Kurt Russell's good looking?
These aren't my kind of men. I need a little more I need a little more Val Kilmer. I need some William Dafoe. I need something wrong with you. I need some weird.
You need like kind of like
you're hot because you're so different.
You're so different. Like a Cillian Murphy kind of guy.
Who's that?
That's the guy who played Scarecrow in Batman.
Yeah, him. Not him exactly though. A little more hotter. I need hotter than that.
Hotter than that.
Christian Bale. Like.
Leonardo DiCaprio.
Leonardo DiCaprio, because they're hot, but they're not Captain America, who is also hot. I do think.
I don't think Kurt Russell is in the Captain America.
No, he's not. He's old man hot, and I'm not into old man hot.
You're not into old man hot.
None.
None.
I'm trying to think who's old man hot though. Oh, George.
What about like Richard Gere?
George Clooney's hot. Richard Gere's okay. George Clooney's actually hot.
But George Clooney doesn't look old. He looks like he did when he was like 25.
But that's what he looks like.
Yeah.
He just has that look. You know what I mean? I'm totally cool with that. Who else? Who would I find it? You know who's kind of attractive? Because they're kind of different. John Travolta. He's different. He's weird.
He is weird. I think
something about him.
I have the opposite view on all the people that you're saying. Because all of the people you're saying, I'm like, yeah, they're good looking.
But I'm not fucking them.
No, I'm more of like, I like the straightforward, like, Chris Hemsworth hot. Like
Captain America.
Like, this is what hot is. Mm-hmm. We get it.
Star
Idris
Lords.
Elba.
Everyone in Marvel.
Yeah, really anyone in Marvel, except for Cumberbatch. I don't think he's hot. I bet you do.
He is hot, but he's not as hot as like Fassbender.
Oh, well, no one's as hot as Fassbender.
But Fassbender's another guy who is a distinct look.
No, Fassbender falls into a whole other category of man for me now.
So I put him in the same category. I put Bale and Leo and these kind of actors.
I would put Fassbender
not off talent, just off how they look.
I would put Fassbender with Bale, but Leo falls more into the like
Brad Pitt.
No, Brad Pitt would go with Fassbender.
No, Brad Pitt goes with Thor and then. Brad Pitt's perfect.
Yeah, Brad Pitt is. It's like a range. You know, like it's a spectrum, you know?
Idris is perfect too. Idris is hot.
Idris is hot.
Idris is a hot man. That's a good looking man. Chadwick. Actually, yeah, all the Avengers are like have that Captain America kind of hot. Tony Stark.
Yeah, they all do.
Because even Robert Downey, though Robert Downey is weird hot. He's not Captain America hot.
How do you feel about Mark Ruffalo?
Not hot.
Okay, see that's
cute.
So, okay.
Cute's not hot though. You know who else is cute? Meg Ryan's cute. I wouldn't say Meg Ryan's hot. I love Meg Ryan. You know how much I love Meg Ryan. But it's how cute she is what I love. Hot is Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah. I get that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay.
You know who I think is hot? And I don't know if the world classifies as hot, but she's hot to me. Lupita.
Lupita is very beautiful.
But I would think she's also hot. Like when I'm watching, she's hot. She's not just cute.
She's hot and beautiful and
she's very
cute.
Beautiful,
she's the perfect mixture of sexy and cute. That's from a movie you've never seen.
And I know she didn't look like her, but she reminds me of Natalie Portman. She's
beautiful. She's that kind. She has that kind of like you have the cute, sexy, hot thing.
It's all there.
Yeah, it's all
ScarJo
there.
has it too. ScarJo can play whatever she wants to.
ScarJo sometimes goes hard, and that's when you think she's more hot, and then she
Black
goes
Widow,
soft, and yeah. But like in Jojo Rabbit
No, Jojo Rabbit. Yeah,
Jojo Rabbit. She's very cute.
In American Story, she's cute.
She's actually a really great actress. I didn't used to think that like when she first started acting, and I don't know if she's gotten better or I just keep liking her more.
You know what I think too? Her as Black Widow is pretty phenomenal.
Yeah,
she grows into the character because I remember not caring about that character as much in the first couple of Avengers, but as it goes, Black Widow is just so important, and it's because of her and the depth she brings to that character.
Yeah, I remember when she started as Black Widow, I was really upset because she used to be a little bit thicker before she did the Avengers.
She did. She got toned up.
She got really toned up, and I really liked thick Scarlett Johansson. Not that she was fat, you know, like said
she
soft.
She wasn't looking like a superhero.
She looked like a Botticelli kind of like just smooth.
I know exactly what you're talking. Whereas now she looks like a chiseled gore. Like go watch her Hot Ones if you want to see how hot, like how perfect her body is. And I know that's like what go watch Hot Ones.
Watch
it. She has a cutoff shirt. She's sitting down like
she's
this.
She's sitting down, and her abs are still tight.
You would think she's sucking in her stomach, and she's eating wings the whole time.
She's so cool.
Natalie Portman's that way too.
Yeah.
But Natalie's body is a little more sleek, like a ballerina.
Well, she's I think a little more petite in general.
She is.
Yeah.
I'm saying all this to say my worst first date.
Yeah, that was it.
No, I took a girl to. I remember I took this black. She was beautiful too. It was one of those dates. It was like, damn, I can't believe I'm on a date with this chick. Like, like dark skin. Yeah, like you. But she had that dark Lupita skin.
Ooh, that like it's like
chocolate.
Perfect.
Oh, perfect.
Like Darren's skin.
That chocolate shade. Perfect. Great body. She was a mom. She had a kid. She had like a baby. So she had like maybe a 1.5-year-old, something like that.
She was mature.
Single. She was mature. I don't know how I pulled it. I just the mouthpiece. I pulled it off. Got the date with her. We go on the date. I've never seen anyone have a worse time with my own eyes.
She was having a bad time the whole time?
Sam, you know where you're just watching someone choose not fun. Like you know how some people, they say they woke up and they chose violence. She woke up and chose a bad time.
Oh, she didn't want to go out with you in the first place.
No, she did. Because all the conversation before that, it was that night when I picked her, it was just, I don't know what was going on.
It was something with
everything before that was fine. It wasn't like oh man, does she even want to do this? She wanted to do it.
Maybe the babysitter was a bitch.
I don't know. Dude, we left. It started off the wrong foot.
Where'd you take her?
Just started on the wrong foot. I don't remember where we went to eat, but somewhere normal. Somewhere like a Applebee's or a Chili's or like, something, nothing crazy, but at the same time, not fast
like
food.
a Texas Roadhouse.
Texas Roadhouse. Where if you're a girl, you're like,
okay.
All right. Exactly. You're like, all right, you're not mad at a free meal at Chili's. You're not like, ugh.
Yeah, really, honestly, if you take a girl out and you have to, you want to take her somewhere where you have to tip the wait staff. Yeah. That's really the level.
But you're also like, I'm not trying to break myself either.
No.
Like, I'm a college. Like, all right, I can, and I'm like, all right, I can afford Chili's.
Okay.
You know what I mean? But she was not having it, bro. She was not having it. Just when you just watching someone not want to laugh at any jokes, not want to talk, like when you asking them questions, not want to talk, not want to do anything. And then she still wanted to go to the movie after. So
what
we go
was
to the movie. Yo, Sherlock Holmes 2. It was I wish somebody could go look at what was in the theater at the time of Sherlock Holmes 2. It was the only thing. It was like, we either go see this or we got to go see like Joanna Man or some shit. Yeah, with Tony Stark. You know what I mean? And she hadn't seen Sherlock Holmes 1, and she was really upset about it. And I'll never forget this.
Wait, she wanted to go see the movie, but she hadn't seen.
She hadn't seen Sherlock Holmes 1.
Okay.
I don't even think she had seen like Iron Man or anything, so I don't even think she knew who Robert Downey was.
How do you not know?
And this
the second Sherlock Holmes, and you don't know who Robert Downey is?
I was fine with her, Sam, having a bad time. I was fine with it.
She kept talking to her in the movie.
No.
No.
She said something even worse. I didn't know there was something worse than that. During any of the fight or explosion scenes, she would do this.
During a movie?
Yes.
You know
she
that
plugged her ears like a goddamn loser when an ambulance goes by during any of the explosion scenes. And I'm looking at her like, I've never felt more angry. I was like, just disgusted.
But it's a movie. They've created it so that the sound is just the right amount of explosion. She was
not having it. And she was like, when somebody's like, she's like, like another fight. You know what I mean?
What did you think this? Oh, I guess if you haven't seen the first,
you're thinking Sherlock. Also, I guess you're like, it's going to be a detective movie.
Yeah, you're not thinking that Sherlock Holmes is a kung fu fighting
is an Iron Man
guy.
But I'll never forget that, dog. When she plugged her ears, I was like, I have no faith in humanity. And I stopped dating black women right then.
Did you pick her up?
Yeah, I picked her up. I had to take her home.
What did she say when you dropped her off? Did she kiss you?
No.
She said bye?
Bye.
And she's like, I'll never see you again.
She said we'll do this again sometime. And I was like, yeah. And no one messaged anyone. It was just
classic.
It was just both sides going, nope. And the whole time I was like, man, I can't imagine being with this girl. Like, whoever put a baby in her, I get why he's not here.
Deric, that's not a nice thing
I get that. I get why he's not here.
She could have just been having a bad day. She has a kid. Her life is hard. It's hard being a single mom.
I'm not saying it's not. This is what I don't understand.
Dating?
I don't understand anyone. I've never gone out and chose no fun. Does that make sense? In Deric's personal life, I've never left the house and was like, fuck, I'm not having a good time. Because, bro, if I leave the house and I'm in a bad mood and someone does something is trying to change that, I let it happen. Because I'm like, what am I doing? Why would I sit here like this?
He is very susceptible to good moods.
If you come at me with a good mood, bro, you are going to change my mood immediately. That's how easy, because I like a good time.
He's a very positive dude.
I like to go for a good time. So the idea of, no, I know you're trying to make me feel better, but fucking, bro, I can't handle it.
I will say, in this woman's defense, when you try to make people feel better, it feels a little condescending. And it's like, hey, just stop.
Maybe. I was trying to make her laugh. But also, it's like, I know you're in a bad mood. Like, I don't like, it's like, hey, let's be honest with what's going on. But she wasn't one of those people. It's not like we were going to, you know what I mean? It wasn't like I could have been like, hey, why are you, like, she was just mad. I asked her, like, are you okay? A couple times. And it was like, just like, hey, is something going on? Like, those kind of questions.
Yeah, but did you do it in this, like, oh, you're a sweet little girl. Are you okay?
No, I do that to you because I know you personally. I wouldn't do that to you on the first date.
That's my least favorite thing ever.
That's because you're a child.
I do terrible things to him that he doesn't know about because of that.
She's so mean to me, bro.
I'm not mean. I just do things to ruin your life without you knowing.
That's such a wife thing to do. I just do things to slowly murder you.
Yeah.
So when you die, I can feel all the emotions. Like, I killed him and I love him.
He asked me the other day what I was going to do when we were no longer together. And I was like, I will plan your funeral and that will be sad.
Yeah, that's what you're supposed to do. You said that like that's like a crazy. Yeah, you're supposed to do that.
I thought you meant it like you were going to leave me.
I might. I think about
as
it.
As if.
Samantha. I know I wouldn't leave you. I'm scared.
You should be.
What you do. We've been together too long now.
Like 5 years.
It's a long time, bro.
It's a long time.
She still hates me.
I don't hate you.
No, you just don't like me sometimes. But I'm okay with that.
Sometimes he just needs to be put in his place.
Sam?
Yes.
We do have some ads.
We have some ads.
We have some ads today. We have a new ad. Isn't that exciting?
It's so exciting.
Bean Mafia, we have a new motherfucking ad. Guys, you can do an ad with Spoil the Beans. All you got to do, and I mean, it's simple. Pay us.
It's really that simple.
It's pretty easy. spoilthebeans@gmail.com. Send in an email. Send your company. Send what you want us to say. And we'll send you the price range of what it costs. And boom. Pretty simple. Mm-hmm. And guys, our new sponsor.
We're so stoked.
We're literally so stoked. Hidden Village Customs.
Woo!
Hidden Village Customs. Custom clothing business based in the Bay Area, California. Shout out to the Bay.
Whoop.
You know what I mean? E40.
Yup.
Nope.
That's
that guy. You know
that's that guy?
Mm-hmm. He's E40.
That's all the Bay has to offer as far as rap goes?
E40, Too Short, Blow the Whistle.
I remember Too Short.
Blow the Whistle. Remember that song?
A little bit.
So there's that. There's Too Short. Oh, and then G-Eazy.
Oh, okay. That kind of seems like the Bay.
How's that his big hit go? The one that we really liked with Cardi B?
I like the one where he was a news anchor. What was that one?
Oh, I mean it. That joint goes hard. G-Eazy. Who else from the Bay? Mac Dre. I don't know if you know him. A little old school. And then
Hassan
Ahmad, who's dead.
Yeah.
Those are the rappers I know from the Bay Area.
From the Bay. And Hidden Village Customs.
They focus on designing custom shirts, and they mix anime, cartoons, comics with real life photos.
They're actually really cool.
Really cool. Go check them out. It's really cool. They do custom designs for businesses, for fundraisers. They focus on putting out the best quality. Literally, we have our shirts on the way. I cannot wait to get them. All right, I got the one with Tom Brady drunk stumbling out of the boat parade, where he's like this.
Yeah, check out their Instagram. It's at Hidden Village Customs, and you can see all their cool designs. And you can hit up Gabe probably through there.
Gabe, that's a guy who runs it. He's fucking awesome.
He's so cool.
So cool. He loves the beans. Again, at Hidden, literally on Instagram, at Hidden Village Customs. One word. Hidden Village Customs. One word. And go check them out, guys. Literally, so far, all their customers have been satisfied with their designs. Great reviews. They're collaborating this year with a women's flag football team to help fundraise money for their upcoming season, and currently working directly with the NorCal team and a SoCal team. They're literally doing flag football for women.
And they're doing it, the percentage of the profits, they go towards giving back to the community. So that's nice. Doing good things for the world.
Good things.
And for the Bay.
You know what else I love about Gabe, and this is what I love most, is he loves little boys. Nope, pizza. Nope. Sorry. He loves pizza.
Oh, yeah.
My bad, Gabe. You don't love little boys. Well, I haven't met you yet. I honestly don't know. But I know you love pizza. I know little boys love pizza too, so we'll see.
Oh, they go hand in hand.
Anyway, go see Hidden Village Customs. Go check them out. Show our boy Gabe some love. And when you get there, this is what you do, Beans. You know our mafia, our style, our credo. Whenever someone sponsors the pod and you go show love, you go get a shirt, because that's what you're going to do. You're going to go get a shirt from this guy. And you're going to tell him what, Sam?
You're going to tell him the Beans sent you.
Tell him the goddamn Beans sent you. Again, Hidden Village Customs. Go check them out. Also, while you're on Instagram, why don't you hit that search bar again and slide right over to Darren Bates' page. Darren Bates, DARENBATES, at WestlandSon_56. It's a beautiful picture of his mother, Westland. So when you see a beautiful black woman, you're like, what the fuck? I thought, who is this? That's him.
That's him.
You click on it, you hit the follow button, you go to his message button, and what do you say, Sam?
You say, the Beans sent me.
You say the Beans sent you there. And you show our boy some love. You listen to his podcast. He's a great podcast.
The Raw Room.
Literally just did an episode with the great Will Compton from Bussin' with the Boys.
Very cool.
He's had on Malcolm Butler. He's had on literally.
He has sports people on. Athletes.
Grove
that's
Hero.
the word.
I mean, all kinds of different athletes and comedians and cool. Joshua Black. Cool stuff. So go check our boy out, The Raw Room. Tell him the Beans sent you. Subscribe, YouTube, iTunes, Spotify, however you listen to podcasts, however you're listening to this right now, and go show our boy some love. And that's, again, Darren Bates on Twitter, on Instagram. Go show him some love. Raw Room on YouTube. Sam.
Yes, that's
my name. We did all that. That is your name.
Mm-hmm. Actually, it's Samantha. But I respond to Sam.
Yeah, no one wants to call you that.
That's fair.
You don't want to be called that.
I have mixed feelings.
Everyone in your family calls you that.
Samantha? Mm-hmm. I know. I keep it that way.
Keep your world separated.
Keep it separate.
You're like Spider-Man.
Yeah. At home, I'm Samantha. But when I put on that Spidey suit, I'm Sam.
You're Sam?
Yeah.
God, you're my favorite dude. That's why I keep you around. Sam, I have a special episode for you today. A little different. Just a little different. Can you do me a favor? Can you tell me what you think happens in our first ever on Spool the Beans short film, Dear Basketball?
It's a Kobe Bryant movie.
By the great, late.
R.I.P.
I think you're supposed to say late, great.
Late, great?
Late, great.
Great and late.
Great and always late.
He was late that one day.
He was definitely late that morning. That's the one thing I know for sure. So the great and late Kobe Bryant, the short film that he made, Sam, that's all I'm going to say about it. What do you think happens in it? Won an Oscar.
I know. I remember when it won an Oscar because that's the only reason I know about it.
Mm-hmm.
And
he died.
He died. Well, no, I knew about it before that.
Well, he won way before, but I mean, when he died, they really brought it back up.
They were like, hey, remember that movie he made?
Yeah.
I Love Basketball.
Nope, that's not it.
That's not what it's called?
Dear Basketball.
Dear Basketball. In my mind, this movie is like, I remember Little Bill.
Yeah, I love Little Bill.
It's like Little Bill, but about basketball.
I'm sure it is. Go for it.
Okay, so there's a little boy, and he really likes basketball, and but maybe like something terrible has happened in his life, like his father died, someone close to him, and so he just puts his whole life into basketball because he lost someone he loved, and then that's the thing that gets him through, and then at the very end he writes a letter to basketball telling them how basketball got him through it all. And then he just burns the letter, and then a picture of his dad comes up, and then there's like some postscript, and they're like, R.I.P. my dad, or when I die in a helicopter accident.
Jesus Christ, woman. Jesus Christ. Even on a short film, you're like batting 100% on how wrong you are.
Yeah, but the Beaners say that they like them.
They do. The Bean Mafia I mean, they loved when Hassan was wrong, but he wasn't always wrong because he knew a little more movies than you did. Even though you've seen more, he knows about way more movies than you, which is interesting.
It doesn't make any sense.
Doesn't make sense. But you have seen more movies than Hassan, but you know less. Don't know how that's possible?
I know what I know.
You know what you know. I say less, but you say you know what you know.
I know what I know.
Wrong.
Is it a Little Bill type movie?
No. Where are you getting Little Bill from?
Because I know it's animated, and in my mind, the kid was also bald like Little Bill.
Well, Kobe's bald.
Is Little Bill bald? Am I just making that up?
Like, Little Bill can grow hair. He chooses to shave his head.
He did?
That's why that little kid is a fucking psychopath.
That's crazy. And he grows up to become a Quaaludes guy?
He grows up to become Bill Cosby with Quaaludes. Yo, that little kid had some demons, dog. Nobody ever, because everybody just watches the show Little Bill. You got to go watch the prequel to how Little Bill became Little Bill.
Oh, you mean like Little Bill, Tykes and Tots?
Little Bill, how the story begins. It's just like, because we know how it ends.
It's like a shot of his mom's vagina as he's like coming into the world.
It's like, oh God.
Oh gosh, I get why this guy's on Quaaludes.
Sam.
Yeah.
It starts. Also, just so you know, this short film, I love it because it's based on an actual letter Kobe Bryant wrote to the Players Tribune, which is a big magazine, for his retirement when he retired after the 2016 season. And then they used that to make this.
Oh, so he didn't make the movie.
I mean, he
wrote the letter, and somebody came in
and was like, "Yo, we should," and then that's how they made it.
Okay.
It's like that's how they made on one of our previous episodes. I think I showed you this movie too. Jesus Christ, fucking classic. One of the best sports movies ever.
One you do with me, or one you do?
I did it with Hassan. Son of a bitch.
It's a sports movie
with Gail Sayers and about the guy who gets cancer. I'm sure they're yelling at me the name of this movie.
He gets cancer.
He gets cancer and he dies in real life. And this happened in real life. Oh God.
Is it football?
Yeah.
Okay.
But the movie's not about that. It's about, and the actors are Billy D. Williams and James Caan from The Godfather.
Oh, I saw this with you.
It's great. It's a tearjerker.
Someone's song. Brian's song.
Thank you. Jesus Christ. I can't imagine how many people are like, it's fucking Brian's song. But yeah, Brian's song, because that movie, the reason that movie was made was, that happened in real life. And in real life, when he died, the Gail Sayers guys gave a speech. And the movie is based off the speech he gave.
Okay. Which one was Gail Sayers?
The running back for the Bears. The black, Billy D. Williams.
Okay. I was like, which actor?
Yeah, which actor? Sorry. The black one. So, movie starts. Animated clock counting down. You hear Kobe. 1-point game. You see an animated Lakers stadium, right? We see Kobe. He's driving. And you hear the announcer, Bryant for the win! And you see Bryant go up like a basketball, and it dunks it home while these other hands like miss trying to block it, and you're bang, which is like these are actual calls from Kobe's games, right? And you see the net goes up, the crowd roars. You hear Kobe, "Dear basketball." It's really sweet music. It is a tearjerker. Sweet music plays. We see a kid in his bedroom. The moment I rolled my dad's tube socks and started shooting imaginary game-winning shots, I knew one thing was real. I fell in love with you. And we see Kobe in his room, and he hits it shows him jumping up, and he turns into grown man Kobe. And it hits an actual game winner, right? And then, like, he hits it, and he jumps up, and you see him celebrate, and when he jumps back down, he's back on a kid in his bed holding his basketball.
Oh, that's really nice animation.
Oh, it's
I can't even
so
see it.
cool.
It sounds cool.
And so he's looking at posters. He goes, "A love so deep, I gave you my all. My mind, my body, my spirit, my soul. As a 6-year-old, deeply in love with you. I never saw the end of the tunnel." And we see him watching. He grabs an old cassette as a kid, and it's like Lakers 79-80 season or whatever, right? And he pops it in. And you see him, and he's watching actual highlights. Magic Johnson driving to the ball, gets the ball to Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Bang! Another score for the Lakers, right? He goes, I never saw the end of the tunnel as a kid. I only saw myself running out of one. And you see him running out, like Kobe Bryant running out the tunnel.
Oh, that's cool.
So I ran, and you see he keeps running, and he goes back to kid. And I ran, and I ran. I ran nonstop, and you see him as a kid just running with the ball down the court every day, just running, and like night and day, like time going by, I ran up and down every court after every loose ball just for you. You asked for hustle, I gave you my heart because it came with so much more. And you see he's running and practicing as a kid, and he turns into the young Kobe with the afro wearing number 8.
I didn't know he had an afro.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
So there's 2 Kobe careers. There's number 8. And there's 24.
But they're both with the Lakers?
He changed his number.
Why?
The rape allegations. Remember that?
That was why he changed his number?
Changed because he wanted to change his image.
And 24 seemed like a less rapey number than 8.
24 is a little less rapey than 8.
Yeah.
That's the main reason. He was like, hey, he went into the office. He was like, hey, guys, what's the least rape number? And everybody's like, 24.
Well, 7, 8, 9 does have a sort of like
it's like, what's going on there?
Situation,
There's a lot of violence between those numbers.
Yeah.
24 is pretty average. But also 24 is one better than Michael.
Ooh, tricky.
That's why you got it. Yeah.
Okay. 24 is a good number. 4 is my lucky number. So
but he wanted to change his whole, because you got to remember, so I don't know if you remember this, but Kobe in his young career, before that allegation, he was the young kid. Mm-hmm. He was the young Hollywood, like, you know what I mean? He's won 3 championships on the Lakers. Everything's going right for him. He got a young wife. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like he's on the cover of all the magazines. He's for the spokesperson for all the companies. Yeah. He's ascending into that Michael Jordan and doing it younger. Mm-hmm. Rape thing happens.
It stalls everything.
Everything goes south. His team turns on him because it's like, I mean, he gets into it with his team, because he said, this isn't all the way through, but like in an interview, he said when they were asking him about like cheating on his wife and stuff like that, he said, I mean, he shouldn't have said it, but he said, I wasn't the only one who was doing it. I mean, everybody was doing. Shaq was doing it, and that of course
that would piss me off.
That would piss me off too. It's like, hey, bro, you fucked up.
Yeah, and now you're dragging all of our names in the dirt. Because not even on just like in the publicity's eyes, but let's say you have a good relationship with your wife and you cheated on her. Not that normally goes hand in hand, but what if things were better now and then like it just got like turned topsy-turvy all of a sudden?
Right.
Oh,
so
awkward.
The 24 era is when Shaq left. Mm-hmm. He's still wearing number 8, and they're losing. There's this era of Kobe's where after they won the championships and he got in all that trouble, Shaq left, and he's losing all the time, but he's dominating. But this is like when he dropped 81 in a game. He's dominating, but they're losing. So
what year does the rape allegation happen?
I think 2003, 4, somewhere around that era.
Okay.
Changed numbers around like, I want to say 2007 or 8 is when he changed numbers. And he took on the Black Mamba personality.
Black Mamba.
So why he did that is because he was like, I'm not, like, if you guys want to make me the villain, I'm the villain now. And then he revamped the Lakers and brought him back to. So that's why he literally, if you go look at his stat line, his stat line with number 8, 3 championships out of 4. He lost 1, right? 1, 3, all these Hall of Fame numbers. And then he changes his number to 24. And there's another like 10 seasons or 11 seasons where he wins 2 more championships, loses 1, and then has the end of his Hall of Fame. But like, if you were to just take away one of those, it's still a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
That's why he's one of the only players ever to have 2 jerseys retired in the same. Like,
wow.
Like he's one of the. I mean, he's unreal. Like,
that's cool.
When you look at his whole length of his career. Okay. So he goes, I played through the sweat, and we see him falling, and he's like in pain, and he goes, not because Challenge called me, but because you called me. All right. And we see him doing like all of his most epic moments, and the animation is just so cool. He goes, I did everything for you. Because that's what you do when someone else makes you feel alive as you made me feel. And we see the classic shot of him hitting, this is against the Suns. This is the years, like one of his last few years where he's still wearing 8. And they're in the playoffs. And he hits this this amazing game winner, right? Like the last second in the playoffs. Bang! He hits it. And this great shot of him where he runs over like to the bench. And he has his jersey. And he goes, whoa! Like, and he pulls it to the side. And it's like a classic shot of him. Like, you know? And you see that moment, and he goes, you made a 6-year-old boy's Laker dream come true. So since he was a kid, this is true. He
wanted to be on the Lakers.
Lakers.
Whoa.
Crazy, right? He goes, and I'll always love you for it. And we see the classic shot of after he won one of his championships. This is in the 24 era. He's got the hat on, and this is a real shot, and he's looking up at the audience, and he's got the basketball in one hand like this, and the championship trophy like this, and he's like screaming, looking up at everybody. This is like, it's cool because like, wow, these were real moments in his life. Like he lived these moments, you know. And he goes, but I love this part. He goes, but I can't love you obsessively much longer. He wrote this right before his last season. He goes, this season, this is all I have left to give. My heart can take the pounding. My mind can handle the grind. And then we see the classic shot of when this is like towards the end of his career, he tore his Achilles. He's one of the few players to ever come back from that injury. Like he came back
That's
from
a rough injury. It's very painful.
Because you can't walk.
Yeah.
He also, Sam, so this is how badass this guy is. When he tore his Achilles, right? He did it getting fouled, going to the basket. He got fouled, tore his Achilles. He can't walk, you can't do anything. Yeah. Like you can't, he said, it feels like when you tear your Achilles, it feels like you're walking on your calf. Oh. You can't feel any of this.
Yeah.
He still stayed on the court to make his free throws. And then walked off the court on his own.
Damn.
I mean, there's so many legendary Mamba moments that are like, if you're a sports person, you're like, I remember that, you know? So he goes, my heart, my mind can handle the grind. He tears the Achilles, and you see him dunking in the animation, and then the animation zooms into his body, and you see like an X-ray, and you see all his joints and his knees, and it's all banged up.
Yeah.
It's all fucked up. And he goes, but my body knows it's time to say goodbye.
Oh, I'm sad.
And that's okay. I'm ready to let you go. And you see the ball bouncing, and it turns back into a tube sock in his bedroom. Okay? He goes, but I want you to know. But he said, I'm telling you this now because I want you to know to savor every moment we have left together.
Gosh, this makes me feel like how I feel about like Richard Pryor doing stand-up late into his like late years when he was having trouble, like,
cerebral palsy and shit.
Yeah. Just when people have a really passionate thing and then your body,
it's bigger than
it's like there's elements that you just can't control and they're keeping you from still and you have to come to terms with that. Like athletes have to deal with that all the time.
I mean, they all do. That's what's crazy. It's like unless you play literally golf, because even in golf it's going to come to a point.
Even if golf you can throw out your shoulder and stuff.
And I mean eventually there is going to come to a point where you're just too old to do it. You just can't physically do it. But it's just that's the one game that you can play into your 70s, into your 80s.
Yeah.
That some people do that, but in your 60s. But yeah, if you're an athlete playing a sport, like a real sport, like a competitive contact sport.
One day you have to say goodbye.
Or even non-contact, like tennis and shit and swimming. Like you have to say goodbye.
I think people can swim for a long time though. Not competitively.
Not competitively, no.
But I mean, like you could still you hear about elderly people swimming the English Channel.
There's shit like that.
Yeah. So it's not like it's completely out of your range. But something like where you have to play a team sport.
Basketball, it's over. Football, it's like, yo, this is it. You have to savor all those moments because you don't get them again. So we see, he goes, I want you to savor every moment. He says the good, the bad, giving each other all we have. And we see shots of him as a kid running, doing like moves in his bedroom. And then it turns, and you see it's like his adult him doing the same moves on the Laker court. He goes, we both know, no matter what I do next, I'll always be the kid with the rolled up socks, garbage can in the corner, 5 seconds on the clock. Ball in my hands. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. He shoots. You see kid Kobe celebrating, and it turns into man Kobe. Mm-hmm. All right? And then you see a great shot of actual Kobe. This is not animated anymore. Like, the night he was getting his 2 numbers retired in Lakers Stadium, you see a shot of, and they're showing this to the whole stadium, this short film, right? And you see a shot of him walking into the stadium. And everybody's like, oh, you hear the cheers, right? And then he's got a suit on, and he's like starting his new life. Like, as you see him walk, and in the video, you see the Kobe with the jersey, like waving by and walking into the locker room. All right? Love you always, Kobe. Kobe Bryant, 1978 to 2020. Heroes come and go, legends are forever. We see a sweet picture of him and Gigi, courtside at a basketball game. We see everyone else who passed in the crash. Forever 24. That's Dear Basketball. Good, huh?
Oh my gosh. I mean, I felt so many feels. The Gigi and Kobe thing, though, really hits me hard because it's two sides of a similar coin in that, like, you see this man who got to have this relationship with his sport and really pursue it and achieve everything that he believed he could be, right? And then having to come to terms with the fact that, like, I'm too old to do this anymore, which I think is a really difficult thing to do.
God.
But then in the same instance that his life is taken, his daughter's life is lost, and she was about to do all the same things for herself. And so she didn't even get the chance to do them. And it's like they're both really sad things to think about.
Oh, man. It is a sad one, dog.
I don't know why that hits me. So I think whenever you do something, like if you're an athlete, an artist, or anything you're passionate about, there's something really, it's like a relationship. It's like losing a husband or a wife,
Yeah, it really is. I mean, it really, really is, man. Because it's just such a...
It's everything you've invested in this whole experience up until that,
Yeah, it's just, it's so much, All right, I want to show Sam. So when I said this is the game winner I was talking about against the Suns, the classic one, I'm just going to show Sam this. All right. Hold on.
I don't know if you can have the sound on this.
Huh?
Can you use the sound on this? Oh, he's going. Ah, perfect.
Oh, just that look of disappointment. And we're back. Sorry about that. Bang! That's the last thing you guys heard.
That was the last thing they heard.
And how the Suns look so disappointed. But I was showing Sam the classic. She saw it, the classic. Woo! Look, our recorder went out, so I'm sad you guys didn't get to see that part. But I was showing Sam the classic. Woo! And you asked why he did it. And it was like, he was just, when you're in that moment of glory, you're not even thinking about anything.
You're right. It's just that's probably why people really relate to it, is that feeling of that visceral feeling.
It's visceral.
Yeah.
That's why
it doesn't make sense why you would do that.
When Kevin Garnett won his first ever championship for the Celtics in 2008, beat Kobe Bryant. This is when Kobe lost.
Is that the game that happens in that movie? In Uncut Gems?
No, but it's about that year.
It's about that year. Okay.
It's about that season.
See, I know things.
And
movies.
Our boy Kevin Garnett, he wins his first ever championship that he'd been chasing his whole career, right? And they get him and it's like such a legendary thing. He gets the microphone, and the lady's trying to ask him questions, and he's like, he's crying. And he's just like, anything is possible! Like, he's just screaming. And you connect to it because, like you said, it's just such a, like, you feel it. It's like, oh my God, this is visceral, man. Or I remember when LeBron came back and he won that 2016 win against the Cavs, and he just falls out. Like, they win, he's got his hands up, and the clock hits 0, and he just falls out on the floor and just cries like a child. I mean, just everything out of you, because it's so much emotion in these games, man. These aren't just games. This is like what he was saying. This is his life. This is my spirit, my soul.
And I think that's why people like sports.
Yeah.
It's this sort of... I mean, we live in a world where you're kind of, I mean, we say anything is possible if you put your mind to it and all that, right? But we're not shown that by example in a lot of situations. In most like movies and shows, it's normally tragedy or comedy, which is tragedy plus time. You know, like you're not seeing a lot of like, I want this, I'm going to make it happen.
Yeah.
Whereas in sports, you see that all the time. That's pretty much the point of sports.
That's every year. Tom Brady, he left the I mean, how just that one story, right? He left the Patriots. What's going to do? Are they going to be good? The Patriots going to be good. You know, they're all the Buccaneers, and then this dude wins another Super Bowl, and like the story of that is so visceral.
I don't even care about Tom Brady, and I was excited for him to win another Super Bowl.
Because it's like, whoa, he did it, and it's like there were no shortcuts to it.
You just put it.
It wasn't. He didn't win because somebody had a better opinion about him than Patrick Mahomes.
Or just like
he won.
Or situations like someone like Tom Brady. He wasn't like a first in his
Sixth
draft.
round.
Yeah, he was a 6th round pick. I think stories like that where you see people go from literally like throwing sock balls into a trash can to being the greatest
to ever do it,
maybe, you know, or people are questioning it, or you know,
you're in the conversation.
People are debating it. And also, I think that's impressive enough. Like, so what if I'm the greatest or not? People can't decide. That's how intense the subject is.
Yeah.
Like, because it's like if you were the greatest and that was the end of it, no one would talk about it anymore. Mm-hmm. They need there to be
there needs because competition.
Yeah.
Competition breeds it breeds greatness.
And also that's what makes it worth it. Like without it, it's just like, well, what's the difference between this and anything else?
And anything else in life.
Yeah.
That's what makes this great. And that's why I love people who do get lost in sports and get lost in the idea of winning and losing. Because it's like, oh, it's not everything. It's like, no, it's not everything in life. But in this game, in this moment, if I'm living in the now, it is everything.
It is everything.
It's everything.
It's like a comedian doing a set. Like when you're on stage, it's everything. Like every moment, every breath the audience takes, every gasp.
Somebody dropping a spoon, a waitress dropping a glass, like everything.
It's the crux of the universe, and you're at the center of it, you know? And that's
so,
what athletes go through.
And that's exactly. So it's like, of course, in the grand scheme of it, it's just a game or it's just stand-up comedy. It's not the biggest deal. But we're talking about if I'm living in the moment and I'm living in the now, then it is everything.
Absolutely.
And there's nothing bigger. And that's okay. I like living life like that. And I like that watching someone live life like that. And that's what makes sports so real, is because it's in the moment. It's now. This is happening right now. You know? God, and that's just and the competitiveness of it. The do or die, like the win, which is why I love stand-up, because it's a lot like that. It's, you know, kill or be killed.
And the do or die, like in your whole career, because it's like, it's like that on the court, but then, you know, people are accusing you of rape, and now you're talking about your other players and like what other people are doing.
You're losing, teammates are mad at you.
Like,
the city wants you to leave. Like they don't know if you're going to leave LA. It's so much going on.
All of these things, it's all build up just so that you can get back out on the court. Mm-hmm. Because, like, what if all that stuff had happened and he never got to go back out? Like, he lost his job because of that.
Yeah, or it just derailed him mentally, like it does other people. Where it just literally, you are not mentally capable to handle such a falling, or what looked like a falling from grace. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? To pick because he lost everything. He lost all his sponsorships, and he had to earn it all back by dominating. That's why that great, who had that Dave Chappelle joke where he's talking about like, the way he's like, you know how I know Kobe's innocent? Because that nigga didn't slow out on the court after that rape charge. He got better. Uh-huh. It was like the judge was like, play for your freedom. And he was like, you know? Because it's such a truth. Like, then he got better after that.
Yeah.
Like, he got more serious. And he also leaned into like, oh, you guys don't think I'm this good American boy? Well, okay, I'm not. I'm a fucking asshole out here. And he became an asshole on the court. Like, people hated him on the court. Just like Michael Jordan, when you watch your doc, that's what makes it so good. Is because these people, what makes a player great is just like, I'm sure Tom Brady, like on the field, you're like, this guy is annoying. Because he's great and he's in my face and he's letting me know and he's like dominating me.
Your description of Kobe Bryant's, like his transition from the good boy to the bad boy reminds me a lot of like the Chris Brown situation.
It's exactly
They're
like
very similar in that you like, I think Chris Brown probably did what he did.
No, I mean Kobe did cheat on his wife. You fucked up.
Oh yeah, but I don't know if he like.
No, I don't think he
raped her.
I think he cheated on his wife and got caught, and you fell from grace.
Exactly.
And I mean, you got lie. I don't think he cheated. He raped her at all. No, I think literally You know, but like Chris Brown said, but I mean that's still like.
But the Chris Brown situation is similar. You were the in the eyes of the world, you were like golden child. You were sweet and kind, and then as soon as we saw that you could be bad, you're like, okay, well I can be bad at and also do the thing I do.
Mm-hmm. Because you guys, I'm not gonna let you stop me from doing the thing I do.
I think also that's a real tell of like someone who didn't maybe
their character,
yeah, and just that. Like, there's a lot of people, like, you get accused of things. Maybe you did them, maybe you didn't. But you can't come back because you don't believe in yourself anymore. That's what
we're really going to see with Chris D'Elia.
Mm-hmm. You believe more in the market or, like, in the public and what they think of you than you do in yourself.
Than you do in your own self and what reality really is. Like, what the real world is. Not, like, what you think people's perception is or what people are saying on the internet or some shit. It's like, no, what is happening in real life? You know what I mean?
And that's why, because we were just watching, and I guess I keep bringing up different people that have similar stories, but that's why I feel like people like Patrice never got in trouble in situations because you never cared what people thought.
Yeah, you Joey Diaz did.
You were like, hey, I just don't care so much. I don't even care if I'm on The Office or not. And like, what are you going to do about it? I'm still going to be great.
Yeah, and also like, oh, but we heard you did this horrible thing. Yeah, I did that. Because that's what people don't realize. It's like, all right, now what? Now where do we go? Because I'm telling you I did it. So now what? And I'm not apologizing for it.
I think that's what people want the most is honesty.
That's why people hate Hollywood.
Yeah, that's a big problem.
Be honest.
Be honest. Be real.
You know what I mean? That's why I think for a guy like Chris D'Elia, this is like, because he got new charges against him. Mm-hmm. And it's like, well, your character was already tested. And now this is like, your final, like, what are you gonna do? Because you can disappear again, or you can be like, you know what? If this is what they think, I'm gonna lean in. Like, if this is what you already think of me, then I'm gonna lean into it. Yeah, I like to fuck young pussy. Mm-hmm. I don't do it anymore. Like, I don't do it anymore. I did that. You know what I'm saying? Like, because then what? What do I say now?
Well, I mean, if he's done something that's illegal, they can charge him. But I mean, the public, there's nothing they can do.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's kind of what it comes down to because they want to act like, oh, there's no courts anymore. Like you hear a lot of people say that.
White people say that, yeah. White dudes.
It's just the court of public opinion now. No, everyone's guilty until proven innocent. And it's like, yeah, but it only matters if you care about the court of public opinion.
Yeah.
You could still create without them. I mean, look at what Louis C.K. was able to do after his.
He's fine.
Fall. I mean, he was still going out to clubs and running bits, and then people were sneaking bits on the line, like, oh, look at Louis trying to run bits still, and he was like, yeah, and I don't even need that.
I'll drop that. New material. I'll come up with new material. Go fuck yourselves, assholes. Love it. I mean, it's because it's, and I guess to get back to the Kobe point of this documentary or the short film it's bigger than money.
Yeah, passion.
It's like he said, he's like, yo, this was, I mean, you hear it in the letter to the basketball. It's a letter to basketball. It's not a letter to his organization or the fans or, you know what I mean? It's a letter to literally the ball.
Or just the concept of like, 5 men on a team
going against each other in this game and what it means and what it takes. What it takes, It's
really beautiful.
I genuinely loved it. I've seen it like 3 or 4 times. It's so good. I mean, it's 5 minutes.
Yeah.
But it's so good. It's 5 minutes, but it brought up on an hour plus discussion.
I thought it was like at least 15 minutes.
It's 5.
Wow, that's amazing.
I mean, he got right to the point, man. He loves what he does. Like, he loved, and it's cool to know that about it because it's like, man, I do feel that way about stand-up. Like, man, I love what I do. I fucking love what I do, bro. To the core of it. And I think COVID definitely made me realize that more of Deric, because of course I want to make it, whatever that means. I want to make it. I want to be able to tour and I want to provide just doing what I love to do. And I want, I want a career. I want options. I want options in my career. I want to be able to choose different things I can do and all these things and mainly just do stand up anywhere I'm at. I want to be able to get up. But I had to realize it like that during Corona, like that shit's cool, but it's still not the reason I'm doing this. I didn't get in this to like, I mean, I wanted to be a comedian, but like when I went to that first open mic, it wasn't like, oh, I'm going to make it. Like, I mean, I want to make it, but it was like, oh man, I want to see if I can do this. And then I did it. And then I loved the craft of it, the idea of it.
The feeling of walking on stage and not knowing
how it's going to go.
How it's going to go, or when you walk on and you know exactly how it's going to go.
Yeah.
And then it all just falls into place. And, you know, things, there's so many moments. And then to that, I think stand-up's a lot like
it is sports because it's now. It's visceral.
It's so present. It's so now, and that's why people don't understand. Like when they talk in a room, it's like you better watch out when you talk in a stand-up show because it's like we are present.
Yeah, I'm tuned in because I'm tuned in to the wavelength that we're all tuned into, whether we know it or not. Because we are all tuned into one kind of like wavelength. If we're all sitting in a room,
we're all sharing a reality.
It's like how women sync up their periods.
It's very similar.
You know, so. If I'm in a room like that, we're all, whether you even want to address it, even because you might be there with your friends and your family, you're not thinking about it, but like there is this like thing, this code that we're all agreeing upon. You know that you're gonna sit here, listen to me talk. You know that jokes are coming, or you don't know. You know what I mean? Like you understand that, like, and there's a discussion going on that's not even being had. You know, and I just love it because it's so in the moment. It's so in the moment, and it's such a beautiful art form, just like sports. Sports is an art form.
Oh yeah,
it's beautiful and it's perfect, and it's like one of the last, probably in my head, the first and last like facet of like true art. Because people always say that about stand up, but I think it's sports. I think sports are the truest art you can get because there's no room for opinion.
There really isn't. There's no objective.
There's no we didn't watch the Chiefs the Chiefs Tampa Bay Super Bowl and go, well, I think the Chiefs won.
The Chiefs won.
You
have your opinion and I have mine.
You have your opinion, I have mine, but I think Patrick Mahomes had the better game. It's like, no. What it was is what it was. And you can't change it and go back and it doesn't art can change over time. That's what's beautiful about art. Like a painting can get beautiful as time goes on, or like a comedy
have
special.
Different meaning.
Yeah, a comedy special can come out one way, and then in 10 years it means something else, and it hits so much heavier, just because of that's how art can do that. Sports don't work. Sport, that score is the same. Those numbers are the same then, so they are now. It's science.
Yeah, it's science.
You know, and I love that, and that's a pure art form.
So beautiful.
Dear basketball, rest in peace, Kobe Bryant.
R.I.P. And Gigi.
And Gigi, of course. And everyone in the plane crash.
Really,
everyone. That was a tragic day. Yeah. Rest in peace to all those families.
It was about a year ago now.
Yeah, it was. A little bit. It happened January 26th. I remember that. Okay. It was January 26th.
So about like a year and a month.
It's been a year and some change.
Yeah, and
some change. Oh, God. We're already in March, actually, so it's been over a month.
Maybe a month and a half.
A month and a half, maybe. A month and a couple days. Rest in peace.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, Kobe. God, you were a son of a bitch on that court.